regards to our Canvas, I have some concerns to some of the students. Pero dili ka tiya ora-ora because pero magud strict to ato Canvas. I will also be announcing our midterms is near approaching. So in advance na lang so that you will also be motivated. Those students who have high scores, more likely mga 50 above, na from weeks 1 to 2 will be having additional points in their midterm. And this discussion as well will also be the students who will be participating as well will be given additional points which will be added in your assessment because I have seen that especially aton week 1 damo ang grouping scores. I don't know if the reason to that is waray maka follow instruction, waray makabasa or I don't know. We do not know I do not know the reason. So we will be making use of this class. We have various activities, recitation for those who will be participating. You will be given additional points. So all throughout our discussion, in all of our online classes, we will be having a recitation that will help you in your assessments. And also, I have read some of your answers in your discussions. I am very happy to see that some of you are really indeed taking seriously the course that I have given to you. They have read the activities that I have given. They have participated and commented on the questions necessary for them to answer. For all of you, to all of you. Some lang is my concern. Some of you are just copy pasting from your classmate, I don't know, from your classmate or from the internet, which is one of the concerns of our teachers as well. I hope that you have read and seen the announcement of one of your teachers. Kami, we are very strict, especially when it comes to online cheating or plagiarism. So, ibig sabihin, ako I can see one if you have plagiarized, but I have given considerations for the meantime. But as we move on with our activities, especially that I will be asking you to give activities that is really indeed based on your critical understanding, so kailangan iyot good talaga. Regardless kung baga diri good, damo good ang mga kuan, may mga wrong grammar, as long as that is based on your own thoughts and your own understanding, then okay to niya. May naman kita sincere nga paraphrasing. And you can make use of those various paraphrasing too. But please, I will repeat this, do not copy paste, do not just copy from the internet or from your classmate. It is okay to ask for me, it is okay to ask thoughts or to ask ideas from your classmate, but the whole content should not be copied. That's just a little bit for an introduction because later on we will be talking pamaniton hiya with regards to our platform and to our to the Canvas itself. I will be announcing top performing students with regards to my subject, which will be given as well considerations, either plus points, either diri na magtake ni mga quiz activities. Let me try to see if what will be the result of the performance that you have given during my subject. Klaro kita?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes po,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, sige, now let us start. The topic that we are going to discuss is just simple. Very simple that to the point na bagan dili naman gud niya kailangan in-depth discussion, but may mga kongad lang kita, may mga salient points na kailangan lang nato matackle. But before that, I would like to ask all of you to please open your camera. For those who can open your camera, please open your camera. Because I want to see while I'm discussing, I want to see all of your faces that you are listening, participating. Kahit kumakain kayo, wag lang maingay, nakamute lang. Wag lang yung naliligo. Charot. Kaya ulit na parigo nga da kay. Sige, naka-open na?
Yes,
Pakita
sir.
ko yung kuan, camera.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tapos mga representative from each section, from Franklin, Leneos, and Perchok. From the president, you already know the routine because ginhimo na ninyo yung ibang subject, no? President, please take note of the attendance for those who will be reciting, participating. Our secretary will be assisting with regards to taking down notes. Although recorded kita, mas better gap kung may kita notes. So the secretary will be the one to share the inputs or the things that we have discussed. Bisan highlight layer. For example, the first nga ating discuss is about this, so on and so forth. Claro, secretary and president of each section.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Sige. So without further ado, let us start. The topic that we're going to discuss is weeks 1 and 2. I have various references that I'm using today. I am using Earth Science and Earth and Life Sciences. Take note, my dear STEM students, iba ang iyo core subject when it comes to science. Yan ang grade 11, especially that you are STEM. Ang iyo yan is Earth Science. Compared to that of the other, may dera Earth and Life Science. Do not be confused kung ano ang pinagkaiba ito nera. Quarter 1 and Earth Science and Earth and Life Science is just the same. It so happens that some of the topics are not paprehas kundi in nga we karagin discuss. But regardless, either of those two, we can use of those references. So I can send to you as well Earth and Life Science references. The only difference to that is after our second quarter, during our second quarter, Earth Science will be focused more on computation or on physical discussion of the Earth compared to that of the Earth and Life nga may danera biological concept. Nakukuha. So asya ito niya aton discussion niya na will be focused first on the earth itself, earth and life relationship as we dig deeper with the earth itself and why is it that earth is very unique and what are the characteristics that makes our earth different compared to that of the other planets. So before we start, let me ask you a question. Sige, kayo na ako. Sige, here is my question. In your own perspective, as a student, as an individual, yan, makikita ba? Hay na natin screen. Okay, okay. Ada na? Sige, can you see my screen? Nakikita na akong din pa flash sa screen niya na?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Ano
sir.
yun? Kaya ano ito na question?
Yes, sir.
Ha aton secretary as well or our vice president or president, please take screenshot na lang ta send na lang aton group chat. Okay, first question. Siya naglo-loading layang. Pero the question to that is, how was life? Kumusta yung mga life ninyo and why are you alive? With in general perspective, either that is existential or scientific, I just would like to know based on your understanding or perspective, kumusta kayo? How was your life and what makes you alive? Sige lang, let me ask someone, any representative.
Sir.
Oo, sige.
It's
You
Miss
are Miss?
Pornias
Okay,
Rogelet
Miss
from
Cornea
Kirchhoff.
from section
Kirchhoff
Kirchhoff.
po.
Sige.
Right now po, currently, I'm kind of struggling with this certain aspect, but the only thing that I hold on to in like why I'm living right now is my family, because they are always looking up to me. They're expecting from me, and nadira ko failure. So that's my parang foundation. Parang the only thing that I hold on to right now.
Okay.
So I
sige.
do this, I study, I do my ACADS, my works and all, and keep on pressing forward despite of the circumstances because of them. Because they encourage me and motivate me every day. That's all po. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good, very well said. Actually, I guess it's not only you, but most of your classmates as well feel the same way. Actually, that is true. When I ask you what keeps you going, the first thing that comes into your mind is your family. The, they're expecting from you, they're expecting things from you. Any other idea? Thank you so much, Miss Pornia. Any other idea?
Yeah,
Sige.
sir.
Sige.
Uh, uh,
Mr. Sige, take note na ninyo ha, Mr. Nablo.
Literal, sir, or baka imo lang sarili
It
nga
depends on you.
perspective?
It depends on your perspective, on how you will discuss based on your personal, scientifically. It's open
Um,
for discussion. It depends on you.
uh, sir, nabati ka ako.
Yes, claro.
Right now, I live peacefully and freely because of the balance of the four subsystems.
Hmm.
Siya lang ako, sir.
Okay. So you have opened that because of the balance of the subsystem. So that is very scientific of you. Actually, that is part of our discussion, but that's one of the good things that you have opened. Others, let's try to generalize na lang. Lahat. Sige. Last volunteer. From different kon naman, from different section para may kita tig-usa.
Sir,
Effort,
sir,
thought, agree. Sige, Yulas. Yulas is this Yulas.
Yes, sir.
Sir, ako,
Oh,
sir.
sir.
kasalanan eh, nag-raise man o
Sige,
nahikuan.
sige, di ba, sir? Di ba, sir? Sige.
Sige.
Um, sir, there are times na I feel low and I feel lost pag by something na nahihinabo po. And ito nga time, syempre, mawawala yung kagana.
Mhm.
And so, ganito. Pero, however, may pinangangawakan ng gihapon ako. Ano siya, akong pamilya, na mga kasangkayan, mga tao nga nasuporta ako. Ano siya, amo pa ito. Ni, mas gaganahan pa ako mabuhay.
Okay. So it's
That's all,
good.
sir.
Okay. Thank you so much to all those who have answered my first question. That is so very thoughtful of you, Haiyo Tanan. That is very indeed ano pa rin, existential at the same time scientific with what you have said. It's true that we have various challenges experiencing in this current situation, especially that we cannot conduct online, we cannot conduct classes in face to face. But we need to move on. We need to move forward. Kaya we have various motivations. We have various reasons for us to be alive. And one of that is our family. But you have not some of you, I hope that you also have your own reasons, your motivations to move on, to move forward. And because of that, God has given us various opportunities. So that is why we have our planet that we are living in. Based on the answer of kanina, I forgot na blooded to. He have stated that we are alive because of these various subsystems. And what is these various subsystems? We will try to discuss that as we move on with our discussion. Okay, so what can you say? So based on the presentation, based on the picture that I have shown to you in the screen, this is a terrarium. What can you say or what can you infer from the picture presented? Anyone?
Sir, it is a geosphere.
Okay, we have Mr. Nablo. Ano ni mo yakan? We have focused on geosphere. Tama? Sino to? Ano
Yes,
makita?
sir.
Okay. Sige. Geosphere. Why geosphere? How did the picture is in a geosphere?
No, because yeah, it has land and rocks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, land and the rocks. Okay, thank you. Any other idea?
Sir, it has life.
Okay, life. Hindi na picture ang nagre-represent in life, Mr. Lazara.
One, sir. Uh, maybe.
Hindi na picture.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
everything, sir.
Nalilapad ako may nag-chat di adiman nga pusit. Di naman yan ni Happy. Sige. Ano nakikita? Ano nga everything?
Tanan, sir, such as ka. Ambot, sir, kung tanan ini, sir.
Sige, just name some of them.
Anakong perspective akong pagkita la, sir, is life na may plants,
Mhm.
rock,
Rocks.
lang.
Happy rocks.
Ambot, sir, kung rock ito, sir.
Sige, you have stated plants, you have stated kanina, ano to? May animals na
Life.
lagyan ba to? Life, okay. So, let us try to see if that is part of what we call unique characteristics of our Earth. If we are, if that is also part of the different subsystems of the Earth that you have discussed, that we have tackled earlier. Based on what you have stated, we have various things that can be seen in our terrarium, and that is geosphere. We do not know yet what is geosphere. We will be tackling that. Life. How can you say that life is present in the terrarium? Let us try to see later on with our discussion. Okay, so for today's lesson, my dear students, madali lang naman yung discussion natin. It's all about Earth-life relationship. So it is true that we cannot live, we cannot survive without relationship. Not just with our partner, not just with anyone, but the relationship with the Earth itself. So that means that it is a give and take relationship. So paano ba nagkakaroon ng relationship between the Earth and the human being? It's because of the presence of various characteristics that Earth can give and give to humans, and humans can give to Earth as well. So with that, the discussion that we are going to tackle this morning will be all about the following. First is describe the characteristics of Earth that are necessary to support life. So as Earth being a planet that supports each and every human being in our solar system, it is safe to say that we have various characteristics. Okay, hay na kita to. Again, based on the different activities that we have done earlier, the thing that we are going to tackle this morning is to describe, simple lang naman, describe what makes Earth a planet or a safe place in which human can live, or the Earth can give support to each and every human being. Or not just human being, but also those who are living. Next is explain that the Earth consists of four subsystems across whose boundaries matter and energy flow. So that doesn't mean that we just focus on these various subsystems without discussing what is within these subsystems that again supports our Earth, and Earth supports each and every one of us. Okay, so with that, it is good and it is proper that we will be introducing the different planets in our solar system. And what is with our solar system is included in what galaxy, if you still remember?
Milky
Milky
Way, sir.
Way.
Milky Way,
Okay,
sir.
okay, Milky Way galaxy. There are so many galaxies that is being written
Batas
on
the
books
nan.
and in our references, di ba? May mga damong klaseng galaxy, and that is also that is also into study of various scientists. If that galaxy also has different solar systems, or a solar systems that has various planets that even one or two can support life. So, marami pa. This is very broad discussion if we go to cosmology. That is the discussion of Earth and various um, terrestrial planets, things that you can see in our solar system, in our galaxy. So if we dig deeper with this solar system that we have, we will be able to see that among of these various planets, meron tayong sinasabing habitable planet. And what is this? So before that, let us try to identify what are these various planets that are present in our solar system. Do you still remember these various planets?
Sir.
Yes,
Sige,
sir.
Miss
Yes, sir.
Pablo, sige, Miss Eva. Sige.
Yes.
Sige
Mercury,
na, kung ma-memorize.
Venus, Earth,
Natural nga
Jupiter,
planet, sir.
Sige.
Saturn.
Tanan. Sige, hinumari tayo. Usala, usala.
Mercury,
Sir,
Venus,
Sering ko pala may nakamit ng naman. Sige.
Wala mo na ako doon, memory.
Mercury, Venus, Jupiter,
Sige,
Sir.
Mars,
para tanan point, everybody sing.
Neptune,
Mercury,
Sige,
Venus,
sabi ko,
and
everybody sing.
Saturn,
Venus,
Venus, and
Mars,
Earth,
Jupiter,
Saturn,
Uranus, Neptune,
Uranus,
Pluto,
Uranus,
Neptune,
Mars,
Above
Okay.
you are
so high,
S-T-U-B-R.
Ano nga yung
Hoy,
speaking
ano,
na
pag
tuntunan naman?
Okay na, okay na. Okay na, okay
Ano
na.
nga, pigil.
Uy, bali ako yung tumakas na ikaw.
Ay, stars
Hindi
na.
naman nasa butik, simple nga kuhan. Mnemonics. Pero actually, dami itong
Dwarf planet
klase.
ng Pluto.
Dami kasi mnemonics para natin mahinumduman. May day itong tinsagiban, true song. Kasi nito, Mercury, Venus, and Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Which included pa nga dahil Pluto, which is one of the also known as dwarf planet. But we have also a mnemonic. Let me share to you if you are also making use of ano pa ito ng first letter, han first word ginbabalyuan ha usa ka word kay para mahimong sentence. So siya gapiton ang kaurugan nga mnemonic nga ginagamit ko to some of my classes, especially to things na madali ma-memorize. Aside din kanta, madagap kita sinisiri nga my very excellent mother just served us nachos. So tanan ito niya nga ada excluded na Bluetooth bagay and updated. When we talk about my, that is Mercury. My very, that is Venus. Excellent, Earth, Mother, Mars, just, Jupiter, serve, Saturn, as, Uranus, nachos, Neptune. Diba? Wala. Additional fun fact lang ba? Some of my students, they are making use of that mnemonics as well. Now let us go to the first planet. We will not be talking each and every planet in depthly, ha? But I want you to have an idea about what is within these various planets. Okay, first is Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet closest to the Sun. Why closest? Kasi yan yung first planet na malapit sa Sun, which is also known as our star. Do not get confused if the Sun is the center, pero star pa rin ang tawag natin sa kanya. And that is what we call geocentric, heliocentric. Are you familiar with that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So when we talk about geocentric, it is, I forgot the proponent, bagong nila ako magkasala, dahil ko nalagyayakan. In centuries before, they put Earth in the center of our solar system. And that is what they call geocentric. Kaya gintawag nga geocentric because Earth is the center of everything. That is before. Until such time that they were able to conclude until now pa rin, wala pa man may nagko-contradict that it's not the Earth that is in the center, but Earth revolves on on a specific star which is known as Sun, and that is called heliocentric. Helio, which means sun, centric, which means center. So that means that as of now, the theory that we are making use is heliocentric. Sun being the center of everything in our solar system. Nakukuha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, may mga fun facts that nakita ito nga kay mga magdaligadlin natin discussion. So next is Venus. Adin maupay nga fact gihap about Venus is even though Mercury is the first planet in our solar system nearest to the sun, Venus is the hottest in the solar system. Why is that so? Can someone give me a reason why is it that Venus is known as the hottest planet in the solar system?
Sir, kay kaniya atmosphere.
Very, ay, yakan pala ka.
Powerful and greenhouse effect or something.
Malapit na, malapit na.
Ani atmosphere, sir, thick.
Yun.
Pero ni
Very
atmospheric
good.
peak 100
Sino
times.
to nag-answer? Sino to nag-answer?
Ako po, sir.
Mr. or Miss or Mr.? Sino to?
Miss Char.
Sige.
Madayok
Miss?
tayong
Okay. From section?
Kirchhoff.
Okay. So that is true. One of the factors, diba, based on the questions that are given from our teachers and so on and so forth, it's not only the distance from the sun, but also the atmosphere itself. Not just the atoms in the atmosphere, but the atmosphere itself is one of the reasons why a planet can be determined based on its temperature. So it depends on its atmosphere. Kung madakmol or thick ang atmosphere, tendency is that the particles, elements present in the planet, and also those that are from outside that are tend to go inside of the planet, are lesser compared to that of the atmosphere na sakto la ang iya cadence. So kung dakmo lang iya kuan, atmosphere, tendency talaga is you will be one of the hottest planet in the solar system. Kaya sometimes they're also called the red planet, Venus. Next is we have what we call the habitable planet, or the planet that we are living in. It is called, or our home, it is called the Earth. The only planet with liquid as of this moment. Next is we have Mars. Mars, pautang. It's really dusty and cold with 18 atmosphere. That is why of the reason kung kaya ano ni Mars can be considered as a habitable planet because of a presence of atmosphere, tapos atmosphere nga pwede tolerate, but not to the extent that similar to the Earth. Next, we have Jupiter, twice the size of the other planets. So this is also known as terrestrial planet. So mga kuan, mga ginormous planet na inera. Next is Saturn, surrounded by series of icy rings. Uranus. So it is the planet who is tilted in compared to that of the other planet. Then we have Neptune, the smallest gas giant and farthest from the sun. So based from all of those planets, what can you infer? What can you differentiate from from these various planets? Sige na, anyone?
Sir, they are all different from each other.
Okay, very good. They are all different from each other. Sige, tanong nga nagre-reset for our representative, please take note na laliwa. They are all different from each other, di ba? They have all various characteristics. But at the end of the day, whether they are habitable or not, they are present. And they are present because of a certain reason. And that is to give balance in our solar system. Without them, we may never know. Maybe the gravity that is supposed to be present in our solar system will be different from the gravity that we are experiencing. Maybe if some of the planets are removed, maybe there are tendencies that meteorites will be more prone in our planet. So ganyan, whether you can see that they are useless for the meantime, at the end of the day, they are there for a reason. Same goes to all of you. Now, let us move forward with our discussion. I have here a set of picture. Nakikita, klaro ya? Okay, so we have what we call
Yes, sir.
4 picks 1 word, the very famous game 4 picks 1 word. So I have here 4 sets, and these sets are consist of 4 pictures each. I just want a representative, where I may mag-open na nila mic, to raise their hand, and I will just be choosing kung hino ang mag-answer starting from the upper left. Based on those 4 pictures, may mga clue kita haubos, underline, nakikita mo na ito, kumpara ka line iton hiya. I want you to give me your answer with regards to the picture presented. Anyone? Sige, let us start with Miss Gulyem. Miss Keisha. Sige,
Hi,
ang
sir.
first picture. Yes, yes, hello. May upper yes. What is the picture all about?
Sir, water.
Water. Why were you able to say that that is water?
Sir, because I can see in the picture that it's a color of the water. It's blue.
Okay, may color ba ang water?
Waray, pero on your
Maray
reflection,
po.
sir, is blue. So that's why it's...
Okay. Sige, based on the picture lang, no? Based on the picture you have
Yes,
seen
sir.
that, that there's a presence of water. So that is why one of the reasons why you're able to say that water is the answer. That's very good. Good, good, good. Next is say Chan Hininiya. Say Jan. Ano niya?
Sai.
Problemeus? Sai. Sorry. Jan. Okay. The second picture to the right. That is
Air po.
air. So why were you able to say that that is air?
As you can see po in the picture na there are windmills, pump, and balloons. Tapos, sir, it use air po, sir, and pressure. Kaya,
Okay. Okay. Very good. Tapos trila ano i-underline. Di ba? So, it is safe to say that the answer to that is air. Next is to the third picture from the left.
Sir,
Abarka.
atmosphere.
Sino to? Nag-recite.
Ako po, sir.
Sige, kayo tawag kay Abarka. Abarka matatawag ko.
Ay, sir, sorry.
Oo, Abarka.
Sir, atmosphere po ya, sir. Kay, ada po
Abarka ni ang
an...
kastorya? Abarka?
Dire,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
dire.
Worker,
Okay, so,
sir.
search of na Abarka.
Yes, sir.
Ako siya na.
Opo.
Sorry. Sige. Miss Jal, ano yun? Ay, sorry.
Miss Jaline po, sir.
Oo, Miss Jaline. Sige, ano ni sir?
Sir, atmosphere po ya, sir.
Atmosphere. Why atmosphere?
Sir, kay naada po an mga like earth, sir, clouds ngan mga kuan, sir.
So, ibig sabihin when we talk about atmosphere, adaan clouds.
Yes, sir.
Let us try to see if your answer later on is correct. But your answer for the 4 picks 1 word is correct, atmosphere. Next
Okay.
is
Sir, biosphere po.
Are you sure?
Sir,
Ay, wait.
Sir, life.
grow.
Sir, life. Sir, life.
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 Sir,
Okay,
life.
the answer to that is wala
Life.
ko nakakita ng
Life.
Live.
Okay, sige. Kanang ka pa may plus point. The correct answer to that
Life.
is
Life.
life. Very
Life.
good.
Life.
So among all of these pictures,
Baby.
why is it, sige, very good. Tanang ka mo may points. That is life. So among all of these pictures, question, what is the reason why are these various topic necessary on our discussion this morning? Kaya ano may
Sir.
water, kaya na may air, kaya na may atmosphere, and why is
Because
it
we're
that life
studying,
is present?
we're gonna talk about the subsystem.
Sir,
Okay, or the subsystem, sige.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, these are the important components of the 4 subsystems of the Earth.
Okay, actually it's not only the subsystems but Earth itself, di ba? To make
Yes.
Earth habitable, these things should be present. Okay, thank you so much for your answer. Let us all give each and everyone a virtual clap. Bigyan natin ng confetti naman. Charot, may pa-confetti. Sige.
Noon, sir.
Ano naman ito? May
O,
confetti.
di ba? Siwad na kadaling atong discussion. Bagala kitang mga elementary nga nag-i-restore di ba? Suliton. Gali. Pero, it's very necessary. Bisan bang mga aram na kamo, bisan ng mga basic kailangan natin balikan. Because sometimes sa basic kita nagkakasala, di ba? May mga misconceptions kita nga sometimes nadadara natin until we go to college. So that is why as early as today, we know and we need to determine the basic concept so that we can go to complex. And that is the purpose of spiral approach. So kailangan iniya, madali na rin na iyo. Kasi we have already encountered this one. Now, what makes Earth unique? I have given you a video presentation on our Canvas. And I am very much happy and I appreciate all your answers. Han video presentations, di ba? May dito comment, nakabutang to. Give your comments about this. So I have given those who have participated automatically 10 points because I have seen that you have put an effort in answering the question. Di nila all about ng video presentation, di ba? All about videography and so on and so forth. In just a matter of 4 minutes, we were able to discuss what happens in the beginning of time, the beginning of Earth as it unravels and as it envelops each and every concept that what we have today. So that is one of the concepts. I hope that you still remember, if you have still in your mind the video that I have shown to you. Nainamdaman pa?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So ada na dida iton ang reason and connection why is it that Earth lives because of various reasons. And pero scientifically we have what we call theories such as Big Bang theory that our Earth and various planets was able to be made due to the bombardment of various celestial things that are present in our solar system. Now, fun fact again, you you may be wondering, di ba? Among all of these planets, from the differences that I have asked you, you have not asked about their names. And here is one of the fun facts. All of the planets, except for the Earth, were named after Greek gods and goddesses. Di ba? The Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Those are named after Greek gods and goddesses. And Earth being the only habitable planet has a different approach kung kay ano yan nangaranan. Earth was only named after a German term which means ground, di ba? Earth itself means ground. Simple as that. Other planets are named because of various Greek gods and goddesses. Kung ginfollow iton hiya atong kuntangaran niya nahan aton Earth is not Earth but also Gaia, which is known as the goddess, I think goddess of land or earth. Di ba? Gaia kung tangaran na natin yung planet yan. Which is very kakaiba. So that is our earth. From that fact pa lang, unique na earth compared to that of the other planets that we know in our solar system. Now, why Earth? Kaya no Earth? Among of the planets, di ba? Have you been asking yourself, among of the planets, kaya no Earth? Kaya no ang pantulo na planet sa solar system, it pwede maukyan. What is with that? What is with
Ang
Earth?
Earth la, sir, may kuan, naghatag oxygen, may oxygen.
Sir,
Lands on the Goldilocks zone.
Sir, I distance from the sun.
Okay, di ba mga excited?
Sir, because it lands on the Goldilocks zone.
sir.
Atmosphere kuan. Isakto lang ko sir para mag-driven mga kuan.
Na-fulfill atong mga needs.
Sir, based puhan ako nabasa nga book which is called na Miracles Churva. Discuss po dito nga reason kaya no on earth kay tanan na components like an oxygen and temperature and all eksakto la nga para makasustain life and mga organisms di diha.
Okay, so that means that Earth is perfectly placed to where it is now,
Yes, sir. Everything in it is
So,
perfect to sustain life.
Yes. Everything is perfect. That everything that Earth has today has its reasons. And that reasons was made due to various occurrences that makes life sustainable. So what is with those various characteristics that makes our Earth sustainable? Okay, as we all know, Earth is the only planet circling our sun in which life as we know, as of now, could exist. Okay, so these various characteristics, just like what you have said earlier, if we bump into if we try to separate each and every characteristics of this earth, marami tayong makikita. Marami tayong madidetermine that makes earth habitable and makes earth unique. If we chunk these various characteristics into pieces, and one of which is temperature. Sige nga, can anyone answer why is it temperature important to make our earth sustainable?
Sir,
Sige, Mr. Lazara. Sige.
Sir, I want to answer po.
Sige, Miss. You are Miss?
Cornelius from Kirchhoff.
Okay, Cornelius. No, may doon na kita mga kanya din. Top performing. Charot.
Sir, based po na akong research before while I was answering the modules, I said it there that temperature affect the ability of a planet to support life in a way that changes in it cause changes in the capacity of our planet and life. So a high temperature can bring destructions to important biological molecules, and lower temperature slow down chemical reactions and solidifies water, which is a danger to living organisms. So based lang po ito
Okay.
na ako research before, na
True.
it temperature hit kanya na hit earth kung ano niya na like ano ba dun, anong temperature and earth, like the exact temperature on earth is the only exact amount that can sustain life. Kung maghitaas pa ya, it can cause destruction to the living organisms or living like any matter here in the earth. And if lower niya temperature, it can cause slowing down in the chemical reactions and magkuha ng water, which is danger to living organisms. That would
Okay,
be all,
sige.
sir.
Follow-up question lang. Do you think that with what you said, is there an instances that the temperature of Earth today might increase or decrease?
Ay, yes po, sir.
Yes.
Sige.
Especially nga, paano kita magkuhan yan na? Like, ano pa itong kuhan? Climate change. Like what happened right now, naghihinitaas. Everything man good, sir, nag-iiba-iba hit ko ni temperature hit earth. Though may dali ang average na temperature nga, and siya nakaka-sustain in life.
Okay. So, another idea? Thank you so much, Miss Pornia. Another idea?
sir, agree po ako, sir. Waray. Asya naman to.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mr. Lazara, as well. You have the same idea. Others, I hope that you also have the same idea. Indeed, temperature is very necessary and important to make our Earth sustainable. Sinabi nga kanina, the different elements and atoms that present in our planet is perfectly present and made so that humans and everything that is living can make use of these various resources. The question to that, if this various temperature increases, what will happen? We might be overloaded by these various elements. That is why, if you can observe, if you go up to atom atmosphere, tendencies is that the pressure increases. Why? Because the elements and atoms present in that specific atmosphere are bombarded. Kung itong hiya nga diha aton ground level, our Earth today will not be habitable. We cannot inhale or exhale these various elements at the same time. So with that, the temperature should be balanced to the point that the sun that we are receiving, the air that we are breathing, the air that we are also exhaling should be equal to what we are consuming. So ibig sabihin, it's not only humans that consume these various elements, that these various temperature that we have today, but also all the living organisms. Just like what you're seeing in my background. This as well helps us in converting and in the balance of our ecosystem and in our temperature as well. Next is water. Ini water ko niya. Obsolete na niya. Makapira ni nato na true. Water is very important because without water, humans cannot survive, di ba? But
Yes.
but being Earth only the planet with liquid, kaya ano, di ba? For example, kung tanggalon ta ang liquid, aton Earth, wala ng mga oceans and so on and so forth, what will happen?
Magiging ano
Sir,
yung
all things
there
nakita
may
sa
increase
akin.
ang carbon.
Sir,
Magiging walang life.
sir,
Because
Sige,
life
the
one,
wouldn't
one,
our body
ocean
could
one at a
has
time, one at a
Would
time.
not be
May I
possible,
ask
sir.
Mr. Ayan.
absorb and distribute ang carbon.
Death.
Sige, Mr. Ayan, ano kita, one at a time lang.
Sir, maubusan po mga tubig, especially po ang mga animals na kuan na inom pwera dida mga aton mga like dagat pa sir na kuan pwera dida aton mga lake. Tapos sir, ang iba po na aton animals mag-extinct po. Tadamo po naton mga ano ha tubig. Sa po sir,
Okay.
mga isda, mga whales, mga sharks po sir. Magkakamagtay po.
And
Okay.
sir, may na pa po.
Good. Sige, thank you, Mr. Ayan. Sige, next.
Sir, aside po mga animals nga marayon hera water to live. Number one po gihapon nga concerned ang mga humans, we kay 75% of our bodies water talaga. So it reflects on how much we need, how much amount na need natin ng water. So kung wala yan water, tapos makakamatay ang animals, how much more pa kita nga tao nga 75% and atong body is water.
Okay, good. Another idea?
Sir, because Earth
the water is the symbol of life.
Okay,
Without
you are
water,
Mr.
Ayman po.
Iman, no?
Vista.
Ayman. Okay. Sige.
Vista,
Okay,
sir.
di ba? Water symbolizes life. Without
Sir.
without water, di ba ka
Without the
survive?
water,
Okay
Earth
lang.
will not become the planet as we know it itself right now.
Okay, good. Sige. Thank you so much. Miss.
Water helps to regulate body temperature.
Okay,
sir,
that
because
is
water
Mr. Dete.
absorb and release carbon dioxide.
Sir, because of
very
water,
good. Sige, good. Hino to nagyakan kanina?
Yeah, ako, sir. Sure.
Si Miss. Ito, Miss ano?
Rogelin. Ako luat, sir.
Okay, Miss.
Ulat, sir.
Okay, sige. Take note la. Good. Sige. Actually, that is true. If our water becomes extinct, tapos mawarayan ito itong planet, tendency from the first thing that will happen, our Earth will dry. Kitaan na lang natin desert, di ba? From that itself. What will happen if our planet becomes deserted?
Sir, madidehydrate po kita.
Our trees will not be
All
able
life, sir,
to
what if
sustain
sir
its
life
needs,
nga
diba?
nag-exist?
Okay.
Sir, makuha ng
So, our trees
greenhouse
will not be
effect.
able to-
Kay, kuan, sir, nag-absorb yan carbon and water or ocean.
Sir,
Carbon
based on the
load.
theory of evolution, sir, there might be a chance that we will evolve to live without water.
Oo, di ba? So, warin na itong sinisira ng hydrologic cycle, which will be tackled later on. Which hydrologic cycle is very important because this water are also used not just for human consumption, but also for the earth to sustain life itself. And this water is circulated all around, not just for humans, but also to the trees that we are of to use. Diba? Trees has various uses, and one of these very important use is for the oxygen cycle. But we cannot, if without trees, if our trees die, slowly our atmosphere, our air will be not as breathable as today. Tama?
Yes, sir. Mawala yan lahat
Sir.
ng oxygen.
Mawawala yung oxygen. At the end of the day, we will be the one to suffer. Good. Mga participative, magagaling.
Sir, there are a lot
Sige.
kadamuan ng mga chemical reactions talaga. Kung makikitahan mga equations nila, need talaga in water. Like, water is always part
True.
with mga chemical processes reaction. So, if wari water, wari may hinabo nga mga sugat dito.
Tama.
Which is needed for
Without
life.
water, simply, waray kita connection with other living organisms as well.
Yes, sir.
Sige, good. Next is, say na kita dito, aside from water, syempre, may napakita iba.
Sir,
Next is
without water,
atmosphere.
magkakamagtay pa ang plants.
Oo.
May kinapapanggaw ng business.
At saka di ba? Pag mauran water, kamagtemplan,
Yung
we
pagtawa.
will suffer as well. Next is atmosphere. Atmosphere, we will be tackling this later on. Next is energy and nutrients. We already know about this. Kailangan natin yan. Each and every one of us, we need air to breathe. And aside from that, we need energy. And the first thing is, what is the main energy source that humans consume?
Water.
Sir, from the food.
Time.
It's from
Food.
the
From sun, sir.
Sunlight, sir, from the sun.
Sunlight.
okay,
Sunlight,
from
sir.
the sun. From the sunlight.
From the
Sun.
sun.
Go with Sil.
Okay, so almost all that are living needs energy that can be converted from the sun. So, kung may naman kita tubig, pero wala kita ang presence of the energy from the sun, our plants will not be able to live as well. Same goes with us humans. Bisan kita may tubig, we will not be able to live a life pero wala kita darkness without the energy of our sun. Next is nutrients. Nutrients as well is very important to each and every one of us. That is why the earth gives us necessary nutrients to survive. Not just us, but also the plants and all other living things as well. These various characteristics, amin niyan makikita atong difference nga ginsend ko ha iyo. And also to our canvas. If you still remember, tama?
Yes, sir.
Oo. But we have also various additional characteristics. And one of this is distance of the earth from the sun. This is one of the things that I would like to share as well. The characteristics of the earth. Diba kanina makapira natin ginyakan that the earth today is perfectly placed to where it is now. And one of these characteristics that makes it habitable is the distance from the earth to the from distance of the earth from the sun. Now those two have answered, diba, from the canvas. May mga kapakiana ako, what if our earth is placed second or fourth or fifth from the solar system? What will happen?
The planet will die, sir.
Sir,
Wari kita energy, sir.
sir, kung
Diri
ada
eksakto,
kita
sir, ang
second,
Sige, unahon ko
makukuha sa
Sige,
sir.
unahon ko mo sa pasyo, kahiyan na karitan niyahan.
Sir, diri po eksakto an makuha mo po nga energy from the sun, sanglit po an animals and plants diri po magle-live. An ini po na earth diri po makukuwan talaga itong habitual.
Okay, very good, no? If our earth is placed on the second, whether if we have a perfect atmosphere, tendency to that is we will be receiving energy that is not balanced, that is too much for us to handle. If kung harayo naman, the tendency to that is the energy that we will be receiving from the sunlight of the earth that is given to us might also be lesser. So tendency, if dako ang heat or dako ang energy nga nakukuha, ice caps especially, this is one of the pinaka concern good talaga yan na is sa aton earth, natutunaw na aton mga icebergs, ice caps, so on and so forth. And if matunaw itong hiratanan, water, aton magiging water, ha aton planet, ha aton earth, might increase. And the tendency to that is it might overwhelm our earth itself. So, delikado liwat. Now, yan na kung harayo naman, hinduro, tendency naman is mag-a-ice na liwat, mas magdadamit ice. Ha aton earth, mga ice caps, so on and so forth. So, it is perfectly placed to a sense that it can handle the temperature and atmosphere that we have today. Next, uses sun as the major source of energy. Kanina, asya na itong hiyan aton discuss. Surrounded by a blanket of gases, tama. It is also known as atmosphere. Next is favorable climatic condition. Sige nga, anyone, what do you mean by favorable climatic condition?
Sir, tropical.
How many weather does Philippines have?
Talapos.
season, sir.
Tag-ulan, tag-araw, sir.
Season.
Tag-ulan at tag-tuyo.
Tulas.
How many
May
seasons
labo
of
for
the year?
summer.
Malamig.
Four, sir. Four.
Malamig.
Ang Philippines, sir, usala po, summer.
Four season ang Philippines?
Summer.
Diri, Wala po sir, kuan.
Third
Tag-ulan nga nag-araw la po.
Tag-ulan at tag-araw lang.
Summer.
Pero in some places, di ba?
Haiba po.
Places sir for
Haiba mga places sir for hera.
Oh,
Para ni po
very
kasi
good.
kina equator.
Okay. Actually, damo iton hiya. Kung aton ilang
Summer,
discuss
spring.
sa damo iton hiya nga things. Why is it that our Philippines and why is it that various places in the earth itself has various seasons? One of which is the tilt of the earth. Diba dami itong tilt of the earth, the placing of our countries, continents, kung hain kita yan, harapit kita equator, nadagyap ito mga climatic conditions, and these various factors affect our place kung ano ang mga season nga meda kita. As of now, atong season niya na is tag-araw, tapos tag-init.
Yes, sir.
Tag-araw nga tag-ulan
Pero
sir.
tapos
Tag-araw at tag-init, kaya di kita may kuan. Joke la balita, tag-araw at tag-ulan kita. Pero sometimes Philippines, kung kita, ato na kita haubin, di ba? Halos na naman, pero may kita kuan.
Summer.
Oo, pero may naman lang kita summer. Dili nga ni, kung umuran, tigda mangyat na oran. Asan delikado liwat kasi ito, di ba? Asa gud itong delikado. So, at the end of the day, what I am discussing is not only why these various things occurs. I want you to realize, that is from the first thing pala, I want you to have self-realizations about the things that we're discussing. Kasi at the end of the day, it's not only the topic that we need to internalize, that we need to apply, but also the necessary precautionary measures. What if ganito yung mangyari? What will you do? What if continuous ang ulan? What will you do? So I want you to take into consideration of these things as well. What if mawala siya, charot? What if mawala tong certain factor? Diba? Next is first. Oray, kung natin yung chocolate mo, pinalawari ka bumati.
Sayang.
Okay, next is force of attraction. Diba? The force of attraction. Sana all. One of the characteristics of Earth. Or also known as Earth's gravitational pull. Why do we need to have gravity? Eh ano?
Sir.
Sige,
Sir,
sino?
kay maglulupad-lupad kita to.
Sir kay kun
Sige, Mr. Pasyo. Sige, Mr. Pasyo, padayon.
Sir kay Buti nga ni po sir kuan aton gravity po sir magkakapilit po kita or kuan po kada talaga po kita grand bagay ma-attract po talaga kita enduro dito in foreign earth. Well, naman po kung dako naman po natin gravity kakalupad po kita along with
True.
In short, sir, important with gravity is to put the places, like put things in place.
Talaga.
Okay.
Kaya ito ko nasasabi ko din, hindi dapat ibutang, dapat add to like ko niya.
Charot.
So it is very
Okay lang
important to
hugot. Sige, hinan nagyakan. Sunod. Mr. Vista, you have any idea? Thank you, Mr. Pasyo. Mr. Vista?
Yes, sir. The gravity is the sole reason that Earth exists right now. Because before Earth, there are just floating random debris in space, and because of gravity, they came together and created the core. And due to the other planets residing in the solar system, they reacted in a somewhat interactive way of giving some resources to the Earth, like a meteor that has water inside and gave Earth life, because water is life.
True. Actually, one of the things liwat kung kay ano nga may kita specific Earth's gravitational pull which is pera ang aton Earth's gravitational pull, if you still remember.
Was it?
9 point, 9 over
9.6
Oh,
9 meters per
very
second
good.
squared.
9.8 meters per second squared.
9.8
Specific itong
meters
hiya.
per
Actually,
second.
it's not only the gravity itself. Kung kay ano may dikatasin nga force of attraction. One of the things that we can elaborate or discuss with the term force of attraction is that the Earth towards the Sun. Again, we go to the placement of our Earth on the solar system. If our Earth is placed on the place sa naton han Venus or in the place sa ibang planet, tendency to that is the rotation and revolution of our planet itself today will be different han aton rotation and revolution niya na. So tendency we might have mga 12 hours la a day. So that is difficult in our part, 'di ba? Or there are instances that we might be having decade pa para magkamay-adahin 1 year. Bansod ba ito niya? It takes you 3 revolutions para matapos ano sa katuig. May mga suwa dito niya na cases. So other planets, if they are far from the sun, mas maiha ang iya revolution. Kumbaga, mas maiha ang iya pag-revolve around the sun. Kung nauna naman hiya, kung nato naman hiya place, for example, ni Neptune, mas damo naton moon. Tendency of that is magdadamo ang naton high tide. Di ba? It's let us go back to the specific to the reason why Earth is there because perfect anya placement, di ba?
Sir, Goldilocks zone.
Anana?
Sana all Goldilocks.
Anahain?
Goldilocks zone ko no, ma'am. Oh, sir.
Sana all, ma'am.
Nagmam.
Hinato na kwan. Hinato nga.
Sorry.
Hinato boy back up. Hinato boy back up.
Hala.
Hinato kita boy back up. Sige, anyway. I hope you get the point, ha?
Yes, sir.
Ada pala kita ito niyan. Next is divided into several layers. Earth is divided into several layers which will be discussed later on, such as crust. I guess you are familiar with this. Mantle, core, and so on and so forth. And has phases of matter. And what is different phases of matter, if you still remember? Actually, in science books or in other references, we have various phases of matter. Mga 20 sobra. Kadadamo ang natong phases of matter. But what are the common phases of matter that we have? Or we know?
Solid, liquid, gas.
Okay, di ba?
Solid, liquid, gas.
Solid, liquid, gas.
Solid,
Liquid gas.
Solid, liquid, gas. So these three matters very important. Sige daw kung nakakahinumduman natin earlier discussion. Can you differentiate these three planets? Sige nga. Kung namatik, what can you say about these various planets? What can you infer and differentiate from these three?
Sir.
Sige. You are Mr.
Nablo.
Sige, Mr. Nablo.
Ano po tong question, sir?
Let us go back to our discussion earlier. Based on this picture, what can you infer or differentiate from these three? Sige, what is the difference between Venus, Earth, and Mars? From the picture, from the discussions, from the things that we have discussed earlier. Sige nga, anyone? Tapos na Miss Topacio, Katayong daw. Miss Katayong, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure. Sir,
Miss,
and
okay.
then,
Okay lang, Miss, ang tawag naman na imo? Because we
bahala
are
ka, sir, kung you prefer.
because we do not we are not gender biased. Sige, go.
Sir, ang Venus, sir, ang atmosphere, thick. While on Earth naman, isakto lang para mag-sustain life. And Mars, sir, magkaiba naman, thin ang atmosphere, kumparahan duwa.
Okay, very good. That is a reference with regards to the atmosphere. True. Thank you so much, Miss Katayong. Anyone? May dapat kita, Mr. Miss Leite? Mr. Leite?
Yes po, sir.
Sige.
Ang Mars po is the smallest planet and the closest planet to the Sun. And the Venus is the hottest planet, even though it's the second planet sa dito. And Earth is the blue planet, which is because it is covered with water and it is the habitable place. Habitable planet.
Okay, anay, balik kita imo una nga statement. Are you sure nga Mars in smallest planet nga nearest to the sun?
Oh, di rin yung answer. Mercury.
Sige.
Nalipat ko, sorry.
It is Mercury. Si Mars, tama na to yung continuous atmosphere. Tapos,
ano po, sir?
aside din tin ang atmosphere, ano pang pwede natin ma-add?
Sir,
on Mars.
Sige.
Sir, ako
Sige,
po.
thank you so much. Yan ito kanina.
Mars is really
Sir, ako po,
dusty
sir.
and cold within atmosphere.
Okay, sige. Noted. Take note lang niya. Miss Tiles. Ada Miss Tiles?
Sir, ako po.
Tiles ato ya?
Sir, matry lang po.
Sir,
Ano
ako
ito ya? Sige. Miss Tiles Anay. Am I correct? Ano ako pag-pronounce yung mga ngaran?
Opo, Sir Tilias.
Sige. Tiles. Okay. Sige.
Based po na nag-explain kanina, ang planets po based on mga goddess names, and Earth is one of the unique planet
Wow, paninumduman. Good. Tapos?
because though may dahiya god name, pero gin-name hiyan may kaya na mag-sustainhan life ngan aday yan tanan ngan bagan hiyan perfect planet in all of the solar system.
Okay, that is very critic ha imo part nga nainumduman dito. Good. Thank you so much.
Sir, ako
Thank
po.
you, sir.
Punyas again. Sige.
Usapang uyat nga era differences or ang component nga temperature. Ginin ko na pwede, sir, ang temperature? Or what?
Ore pa.
Okay. Ang Venus po, though hiya it panduwa nga it is the hottest among the planets. And Mars, kuanit iya temperature is -80 Fahrenheit. So, mahagkot talaga ini. And the Earth is the one nga may exact nga amount that can sustain life. So, haira nga tolo, if you're going to base on the temperature itself lang, bagat makayakan kita na Earth is hot. Compared ha ibang mga planets, ini nga Venus and Mars, is the only one nga makag-sustain life in terms of temperature.
Okay, very good. Temperature is also one of the things that we should take into consideration in a picture. Diba? Kaya nga ni si Earth adahabot nga, di ba, picture. Kasi Venus is the hottest, Mars is cold in terms of its atmosphere as well. So Earth is perfect when it comes to its atmosphere. Vista, thank you so much, Miss Pornias. Vista?
No, sir. I believe that was all the information na kailangan.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Lazara?
Sir, nakuha na po na ako ng opinion, sir. Alright, thank you na, sir. Miss Elias, nakuha na,
Sir, ako
sir.
po, sir.
Sino pa?
Sir, an Earth upon made of water.
Sino to? Aquino, sige, Miss Aquino. Ano?
Sir, tapos na ba? An Earth na po made liquid and water po.
Okay, di ba? Among all of the planets, liquid laan may... Earth laan may liquid.
Sir, may daman
Okay.
po water on Mars, ada?
May ada, pero sustainable liquid to sustain... liquid that can sustain life is Earth.
Earth.
Actually, itong hiyahan una, mga references, di ba? Kaya nga ginayakan naton nga Earth is the only habitable planet as of the moment. Kasi during the exploration, naton pag pinamiling, so sa mga planet nga habitable. Actually, may pa nga ni ibang galaxy, if you still remember, ambot ko na Andromeda adto, may Earth talaga similar. Nakukuha?
Yes, sir. Harayo lahi.
Diba? Actually, may dagod talaga planet nga nakita na rin na-observe that similar and characteristic sa Earth. But cannot be, ano pa tawag, dili pa yan pwede ma-off yan, kay harayo hiya hindoro. Or we do not know or we cannot explore yet. O, di ba, Harayo Hindoro. I forgot the name, pero diri kuan bagan may number
Kepler
kan
po
niya na.
adto.
O, ban,
May
sa
Kepler
diton,
po
good.
ito.
Mao pa'y maana
Clear
dyan
food.
ka.
Oo.
Di
Kepler
ba?
po adto.
Sa diton hiya, as of the moment, Earth is the uninhabitable, but as that is one of the good characteristics, kaya may mga scientists kita because we we tend to explore more. That is one of the scientific minds that we should also have. We do not settle for what is with this current situation that we have. We need to go beyond what can be explored pa. So bagin mga so dito, 'di ba? Mars can be habitable na sunod. And after Mars, may mga maokyan pa kita nga iba. Kasi one of the reasons kaya we have seen that some of the resources of Earth cannot be forever. Tama?
Yes, sir.
'Di ba? Humans as we are, we tend to make use all of these resources. We have very can abuse, but I guess if it's the term that can be used, the resources that we have observed that the atmosphere, the ozone layer is constantly increasing to the point that kung makikita natin ang difference between the Earth before and today, dako ang pinagkaiba. So as ito niya, that is one of those reasons. Kaya NASA or the scientist keeps on searching for habitable planets. Sige, to further understand the difference between this, may dako di table. Kung diin makikitaan naton, it pinagkaiba talaga hining nga tulo nga planet. Compared to that of the diameter, the mass, baga sakto laan mass ni Earth. So durda ko hiya compared to that of the Venus and Mars, the diameter, the density, the gravity, 9.8. Diba kung makikita niyo, kung dako or kung gutian iya gravity, tendency is that we might not know what will happen. Kung gutayan imo gravity, lulutaw-lutaw ka. So asa ito niya, take note lang of these various things that this various planet has.
Sir, piraan ko sir ang gravity on Earth, sir.
Gravity on Earth is 9.8 meters per second squared. Magkaiba, small letter G and capital G. Because when we talk about the gravity on Earth, that is 9.8. But when we talk about the I forgot, acceleration due to gravity, that is different na ito niya nga from different na ito niya nga number.
Akala ko kasi sir, sir, 300 kanan Counter-Strike.
Sabot mo din
ako.
Sabot mo din ako itong maarama.
SV Gravity 800 to.
May counter pa ngayon yan na, ano?
Oo, sir. Let's go.
Sir, let's go.
Sabot ko kami lang, COD naman iyo yan, ha? Pero anyways, itong hiya. That is for the characteristics of Earth. Any questions? Any idea? Any suggestion? Any recommendation? Additional input? Right? Right? So, is it okay?
Kuhan nga yan, sir.
Sige.
Additional lang ang fun fact lahiya. Based
Okay,
na
good.
nabasa ko nga.
Mapay nato discussion may mga sharing.
Dili po related did actually kung lahiya Earth, kung kay ano liwat o saya nga reason nga nakag-sustain hiyan life. Ngan usa nga factor dito sir, 24 hours lang usa ka adlaw.
True.
Nakalimot pa ko sa reason pero bisan po sir pera ka oras usa ka adlaw na matter po talaga iya to sustain
True.
life.
Diba?
Fun fact lang.
Oo, tama. Kasi actually one of the reason kay nagapiton sugad an aton hours and day because of the perfect inclination and tilt of the earth. Question, kung baga medyo tilt pa yung earth, mas ma-increase it usa nga sunlight nga, di ba nakikita niyo pag nakatilt iya ada didaan ang sun and tapos haluyo and kuan and dark so on and so forth. Kung mas dako ito ng tilt, tendency is mas dako ang time, mas maiya ang rotation, and hours per day, which in fact can be a factor in the earth itself. Again, we will go to the various, for example, common example nga is the ice caps or the ice present in the earth. Kung mas exposed, mas dami itong hiraan energy and heat na nakukuha, mas tendency, mas madali matunaw. Tama?
Yes.
Pero kung lesser ang iya heat gap nga nare-receive, mas madamo ang magiging frozen imi. So asya itong hiya.
Right.
Tapos ang heat nato nare-receive, not all humans, very dead humans, not all living things can absorb all the energy that they receive. Kumbaga may specific heat energy lang nga kailangan i-convert in a specific day, and that is due hiton nga specific timeline. Specifically when it comes to plants, when we talk about photosynthesis, dako ito niya may mga solving pa ito niya. Carbon cycle, so on and so forth. So makikita gud talaga niyo na ang heat and energy nga nare-release ito nga na-absorb ni plants and ni trees is very sakto lang to release oxygen and to absorb carbon dioxide. Nakukuha? Thank you,
Yes,
Miss
sir.
Pornias.
Yes, sir.
So that is also good additional insight
Yeah.
that your classmate can also take note. In other? Sige, warin actually suod leto niya ang aton mga characteristics. Now, yan na, since we have talked about characteristics, we will go and dig deeper on these things why is it that Earth can sustain life. So we have what we call, kanina pa natin giniinotro-otro, kanina pa natin giniyinakan, the subsystems. And what are these different subsystems? Para matapos na dayon, what are these for?
Sir.
Sir.
Sige, Mr.
Sir.
Mr. Labila.
The Villas.
Geosphere.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
Villas.
Mr. Labila, Mr. Labila.
Yes po, sir. Kuan po, sir. For subsystems po are
Upat, kayo na upat. Ano ini nga upat?
biosphere,
Yes.
geosphere,
Mhm.
atmosphere, and hydrosphere po.
Okay, very good. We have 4 subsystems.
Yes,
We
sir.
have biosphere, geosphere, atmosphere, and ano last?
Ano to, sir? Na-mention?
Biosphere, geosphere, atmosphere, and
Hydrosphere po.
hydrosphere. Very good. So, amoy niya an aton different Earth subsystems. Yun. So, you can see in the picture, asya itong hera. From the picture itself, it shows that each and every of these various subsystems has their own function to our Earth. Based on our Canva, based on the activity, may dako ginpakita yung nga picture. Tapos, iyo gin-interpret ito nga picture. Sige nga, can someone again give their interpretation based on the picture that is presented on the screen? What is the picture all about? What is the relationship showing? Sige, Mr. Lasara.
Sir, the picture that you've shown, sir, represents cycling, sir.
Mm-hmm. Cycling in terms of
Subsystem.
subsystems. Sige. Thank you so much.
And sir,
sige.
based
Sige,
on
Mr.
my observation, ini nga upat na subsystem, they actually work together. Like they have relationship. Na they work
Yes.
together to sustain life.
Okay. So they are working together to sustain life. They interact with each other. Tama. These various subsystems are present in our Earth. Now, based on what we have discussed earlier, ito nga mga characteristics, they all boils down to each and every subsystems that we will be discussing. For example, when we talk about the gravity, saan ba siya papasok? When we talk about water, asan siya? When we talk about so on and so forth, they are all part of a specific subsystem in which these all subsystems work together to create a harmonious and habitable Earth which we have today. Now let us go to the first subsystem, which is, I know you are very familiar with, atmosphere. Sige, when we talk about atmosphere, this is the gaseous layer. Again, when we talk about atmosphere, from the Latin term itself, atmos, which means gas, di ba? Ato dito
Gas.
aton Oo. This is the gaseous layer that envelopes the lithosphere. So from that statement pa lang, it only goes to show that there is an interaction between the subsystems. Kumbaga, the atmosphere is present above in the lithosphere. Why is that so? Next is the present atmosphere is composed of 78% nitrogen. Diba you may be asking, or I don't know if you will be asking it on yourself. Kaya ano 78% na good nitrogen, oxygen is 21% lang. And 0.9% argon, pero may dapat kita about mga ibang mga trace gases. Because if this is generally on the all atmosphere present in our Earth. Kumbaga, just like what I've said earlier, there are so many atoms and elements present in the atmosphere as we go up pasaka, paigbaw kita aton atmosphere, tendency to that is those atoms are bombarded to each other. Pressure is increasing as well as we go up in our atmosphere. Kaya, may dala kita specific, kung mga airplanes, mga hot air balloon, may specific light on hira nga lugar ng atmosphere kung din hirap pwede lumupad. Kasi pag magsobra na, tendency to that is they will be bombarded with those pressure.
In.
Sige. Next is one of the most important processes by which the heat on the Earth's surface is redistributed is through atmospheric circulation. Diba? It will be talked later on what is the connection between hydrologic cycle, atmospheric cycle, to the distribution of these various particles and atoms present on the Earth. Kaya ano nagkakameda kita oran, which is a common phenomena. What is with the why is it that we experience typhoon, so on and so forth? It's because of the interaction of these various subsystems. Next is there are also constant change of heat and moisture between the atmosphere and hydrosphere. Diba kanina atmosphere with lithosphere. Atmosphere and circulation of atmosphere on the Earth. We have also atmosphere and hydrosphere, also known as a hydrologic cycle. Later on, as we dig deeper with this, we will be able to know these various phenomena. Ano ba ini nga mga instances, phenomena in which if they interact, might happen. Nakakahabol?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Klaro?
Yes, sir.
Klaro?
Yes, sir.
You just tell me lang ha, kung baga, kuan ako, baga nagpapaspas ha. Importante cute. Namahabol. Sige. Atmosphere. I have here a picture representing the different layers of atmosphere. So, again, it is safe to say that atmosphere is not only atmosphere for a reason, but also atmosphere is separated into various layers. These layers has its own functions. Now, ano ba ang mga layers ni atmosphere? I have here a set of words. Now, I want you to tell me the proper and correct arrangement of these various layers from the land paigbaw, upward, pakadto gawasan aton Earth. Sige nga. Usa-usa. Hino, ano ang unang layer in atmosphere nga ada mismo ha ground?
Sir, tao po.
Ano? Sige daw. Meron ba?
Ionosphere po, sir.
Very good. Troposphere is the answer.
Oh, ayun.
Bayani nga to. Good, troposphere. Next, after troposphere, ano ang sunod?
Stratosphere.
Stratosphere. Next is good, stratosphere. Tama. After stratosphere, anong sunod?
Mesosphere.
Mesosphere. Tama. Good, mesosphere. Nainomdom na. Next time mesosphere is?
Thermosphere.
Thermosphere. Tama. Next, last is?
Exosphere.
Exosphere.
Exosphere. Okay. So, how are you able to infer and how were you able to come up with that arrangement? May dana ka mo prior idea or pinamasangla? past lesson and past grades, diba? So, ibig sabihin, gin-undergo na ninyo, din niya makuri nga discussion. So, adihiya an arrangement ni atmosphere based on its various layers. Okay, so from the ground, an aton layer in atmosphere is also known as troposphere. Diba kung makikita nga da, clouds are present there. So, ada dida ito nakabutang it mga breathable atoms, breathable elements that humans can consume in the part of the atmosphere. Next is, habot nga ni troposphere ng stratosphere, ada dida ozone. Now, in the stratosphere, ano ang may dahil stratosphere? Sige nga. Medyo nag-con feedback. Ano ay stratosphere? Didagin si filter an?
Meteors.
Dere pa?
Sorry, sir.
Dere pa? Didagin si filter an?
UV radiation.
Yun, UV radiation. Very good.
The
So,
sun is a
kumbaga,
very sir.
before pa kadto ha ozone layer, before pa mahit nga diha aton, stratosphere is the one who filters this radiation. So, kumbaga, if this stratosphere, this layer, and what you call that, mag-tinhiya, tendency to that is, it nga yung UV radiations, greenhouse effect, so on and so forth, di ba? Ini nga blanket nga may ada kita yan na, tendency to that is, di rin niya ma-maintain ang balance. Ang mga UV radiation, di rin niya ma-filter. So, katapos-tapusan, it mga energy based from the sun itself, the radiation of the sun, it mga UV rays, so on and so forth, can affect us. So, kailangan talaga ito niya naka-filter. Tama? Hello? Tama?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next is mesosphere. Adin na nagodiya masolid mesosphere. When we talk about mesosphere, it is the one who destroys the meteors that are coming into the ground, coming into our Earth itself. Now, do not be confused about the difference between meteors, meteorites, asteroids, meteors, meteorites. Do you know the difference between them?
Yes.
Sige daw, what is the difference between meteoroids, meteors, and asteroids?
Pardon, sir, pardon.
Sige nga, if you still remember the difference between meteors, meteoroids, asteroids, comets.
Sir, ang asteroid, sir, ato pagawas, sir. And meteorite, asya na in. Ambot, sir, ang classification ito.
Hala. Sige, ano ba? Sige. Bow, Mr. Bow.
Sa the lecture ni Sir pero paakan an asteroid asya pan adto pa ya space and
Yun,
meteor
sige.
pag nasulod na yan
Before meteor comets, ang comets, ano hiya?
ang comet I think yan an hapit lada ha kwan atmosphere.
Sige, asteroids, comets, asteroids, and
nasulod pala.
Ada pagawas.
Opo, nasulod pala ya.
Ito niya, diriman tanan, itong han asteroid, siyempre maubos tanan. Kumbaga may leftovers ito niya. Ito na mga asteroids na bubungguay, mga nagbubungguan, so on and so forth. Tendency may mga particles o may mga gugti ito nga nagtatanggal-tanggal. Ang nagtatanggal-tanggal ito hera, nagbuburublag, nagiging comet. Sige, padayon. After maging comet, nagiging?
Meteorite.
Meteor, anay, meteor.
Tapos sir, pag meteorite na nga ni sir pag asya nito pag nakaigo na yan kuan mga land something.
Okay, meteorite pag ada na hiya atmosphere and earth. Tama. So, ito niya. May dakit na sinisira nga meteor shower. Meteor shower is when the meteor goes down to our planet. Diba? Space of rock enters our atmosphere, specifically because of the presence of our mesosphere, ginbo-burn out ito niya. Tama? Pag ma-burn out ito nga atong meteor, nagiging meteorite, asya na ito niya, nga diha aton ground. So, tsamba ka kung makakita ka mo meteorite, kaya ano, pag ibaligya ito nimo, kung nakikita ka mo kay MJS, badto, may dinera meteorite, naging baligya, instant millionaire.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Kasi, kasi kasi the components of meteorite cannot, or it is difficult to be seen here in the earth, here in earth.
Sir, made
There
of
are
ano
various
po mga
components.
meteors, sir?
Ha?
Made of ano po ang mga meteors?
Actually, dirilot ako specifically sure kung ano ang component ng meteor. Ano, i-search natin. Kaya bangin may daniya gold? As much, I think may daniya part na may daniya gold or diamond.
Wow.
Oh, may daniya present some heavy metals such as nickel and iron, which is diri hiya madali makuha. Nakukuha mo lang inihiya if mining, so on and so forth. Ngan diri damo an imo makukuha kung dinhi ka lang magmamine. So ibig sabihin nito nga mga rocks, damo na niya present silicon, oxygen, and some have presence of gold and diamonds. So chamba ka talaga kay kung may aday tanan imo.
Thank you.
Next na mesosphere is thermosphere. Okay na kita?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so otro naton asteroids, ada pagawas, tapos pag ubos siya, comet, pag sumulod diya atmosphere, meteor, pag maka-survive diya ha mesosphere, ang mga leftovers magiging meteorite. Simple as that. Next to our mesosphere is anong sunod? Hello?
Sir.
Nawara ako, nag-chop yada no.
Nag-chop.
Okay na. Sige. Yan na nababatian?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next to mesosphere is what we call thermosphere. Ano na diliit mga damo in temperature, damo in temperature, damit mga atoms present sa thermosphere. So kumbaga present di dagyapit. Kumbaga upper hand thermosphere is what we call the ionosphere. So take note na lagi another additional nato na thermosphere is what we call ionosphere. Kumbaga ionosphere di natin makikita damo mga present electrons. So you may be asking, why is it that Earth or we are able to have communications all around the globe? It's because we have a specific layer of the atmosphere that gives specific, what do you call that? Electrons, which are important in giving signals, in giving various um, frequencies that can be used in communicating all around the globe. So kumbaga naturally we can make use of that resources, and we have use of that resources so that we can communicate with other people all around the world. That is one of the use of the towers. Mga tower kita because we make use of this so that we can communicate with each and every people all around the globe. After which makadto kita ha exosphere. Exosphere is the last layer of the atmosphere. Kundiin, it is the one who is filtering all the other outside or terrestrial things outside of the planet. So without these various layers, what will happen? Anyone? What if mawarahi ionosphere? What if mawarahi mesosphere? What if mawarahi exosphere? What will happen?
Sir, mawawalan life on Earth.
Mawawara it life on Earth. Okay? Sige, what kung ini nga mga factors magkawagra tapos may mga external factors all around the solar system, what will happen?
Sir,
Mabagsak
Sige,
ka,
Miss Pernia.
sir, excessive po nga kuan nga mga any external factors ang may nga diha Earth. So it will definitely destroy the surface.
Oo. So, kumbaga, I don't know if true bad to iya, diba? Una nga panahon, nakakapanahon pa mga dinosaurs. Asya ito niya. Is it possible that we can have, meteor showers again? That is, that is deadly. That can destroy our Earth. Is it possible in your own perspective? Anyone?
Ano, sir?
Is it possible that, di ba what happened before ang mga kapanahon pa ng mga dinosaur? Damon mga, meteors na nagkahulog. So do you think that is it possible in our situation today, in our era today?
So,
Yes, may mga nagko-comment yes. Of course, because we cannot know what will happen, especially outside of our solar system. So that is why we keep on putting satellites, we keep on putting mga, ano pa itong tawag? Mga Among Us?
Amogus.
Mga, ano to ya? Alam, nalimutan ko. Ito mga NASA.
Station.
Ito mga NASA. O, space station. Ito mga tao, nalimutan ko. Loko, nalimutan ko.
Astronaut.
Astronaut. Oh, grabe, nalimutan ko.
Astronaut.
Astronaut.
Out in the ocean.
O, di ba mga astronaut, they are the, pagkadako teras sweldo, pero nila ginihimula, they are observing, they are observing, babantayan nila ang atong planet, they're, nag-a-announce sila, nagkukan nila kang so din so on and so forth. Damit tira, trabaho nga to, dila kita maramton ano pa. Pero they have their own function, and that function is, at the end of the day, to support and to help the earth that we have today, so that it will not be extinct. Now, inihiya, para madali may numduman, I will be sharing to you a mnemonic. Gusto niyo, para madali may numduman?
yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
this is also one of the mnemonic again that I am using. Try some milk, then eggs. Take note, try some milk, then eggs. Troposphere,
Strato, meso.
try, troposphere, some, stratosphere, milk, mesosphere, then thermosphere, eggs, exosphere.
Eggs.
Diba?
Sorry, sir, kala ko, try some eggs.
Try some milk, then
Sir,
eggs.
sir, may difference sa milk
Mnemonic
pati
lang,
eggs para
mnemonic.
makaremember na yun.
Pwede manggihap, inom-inom ka mo gatas kada gabi.
Tas bunay.
Tapos bunay. Mga makibunay
Kain.
dida. Pero siya ito niya. Try some milk, then eggs. Mnemonic ito niya for the atmosphere. Again, for clarification, when we talk about thermosphere, troposphere, this is part, take note, this is part of the Earth's surface that extends 8 to 14.5 kilometers high. It is considered the densest. Why densest? Because it is where the different atoms and different elements that we opt to use and also weathers are present in this region. Again, this is troposphere. It is considered the densest among the other parts of the atmosphere because one of the reasons is weathers occur in this region, troposphere. Next is what we call the stratosphere. Above the troposphere, stratosphere, and it is extended into 50 kilometers high. Now, in this region, again, just like what we have stated and yung mga classmates, it filters the ultraviolet radiation, which is very necessary because it also helps our ozone layer to not be damaged. And what are these various effects that can cause our ozone layer to be destroyed? Ano yung effect if you still remember? Greenhouse effect. Tama? Hello? Wala ba ako istorya? Sangkay ko kahanginan? Ada pa ka mo?
Yes, sir.
Sangkay ko kahanginan. Ada pa? Sige. Stratosphere. That is stratosphere. Next is mesosphere. Again, this is region above the stratosphere, extends up to 85 kilometers, and meteors usually burn up in this region as they approach our planet. So without mesosphere, tendency to that is every meteor and every asteroid that will be coming in our Earth, in the surface of our Earth, will not be filtered and will not be destroyed. Magkakamay-ada na lot kita apocalypse. So that is very important that mesosphere is present. Next is thermosphere. It extends up to 600 kilometers above the mesosphere. Kung makikita niyo familiar ibang places, may kita sinisiring na aurora. Oray lang, adala din aurora because there are instances in which this various temperature are what do you call that? These various temperature are meeting with each other to the point that they create phenomena. Kumbaga, satellites also occur in them. So that is one of these phenomena is also known as aurora. Kung nakita niyo ibang lugar like Ireland,
Yes,
Ireland and Greenland, di ba may mga sawa-sawa dito niya. Very man tiya harmful. It's just a phenomena that is occurring in the thermosphere. Next is ionosphere. Additional in here, between the exosphere and the troposphere, we have ionosphere. Contain, again, just like what I've said earlier, this is the part of the atmosphere in which the electrons and ionized atoms are present. Kumbaga, this is where the radio communications are possible. With these, humans and individuals were able to communicate each and everyone all around the globe because of this specific layer. Last is exosphere. Upper limit. It extends from the top of the thermometer up to 10,000 kilometers. Or thermosphere. Thermosphere which is 10,000 kilometers to 6,200 miles. Important in here nga may digap kita exosphere because it is the one who filters again before anything na sumunod sa aton planet. And then also, kung makikita niyo, ito nga may mga, di ba NASA, pag nagtatry herahin mga, ano itang tawag? Para kumadto igbaw?
Rocket, sir.
Rocket, sir.
Oo, rocket. Di ba
Bravo.
nagbubulag ani itong hera? Kinbubulag, nagbubulag because the pressure cannot hold the rocket itself. So kumbaga, gutilagot talaga ito niya, kumbaga, usala ito niya ka-box ang nakakaagi pagawa sa natin Earth. Tapos ito niya, asya naging kukan na ito pinaka-satellite. Ang pinaka-latest nga to is Diwata, Ginko and Mars. Diba? If I'm not mistaken, Diwata 1, tapos magkami na Diwata 2. Those are the mga scientific experiments that we are using to check the different planets if they can be habitable or not. Sige, after an exosphere, tapos nakita na atmosphere, klaro na, question, pasiana, suggestion, recommendation, additional input.
Alay na, sir.
Aray na, sir.
Oray na. Sige, next is hydrosphere. Take note na lang ninyo. Igsurat na lang ito ninyo dengan nag-print screen. Kasi di rin naman good, anatong discussion good din Sige, matatapos naman kita. Sige, hydrosphere. Sige, take note kita, the hydrosphere. All the waters that comprises our Earth is the hydrosphere. Actually, diri na natin niya i-discuss in depth kasi mapapart in hiyan ating discussion. Every week we'll be able to tackle this. So, amula ito niya atmosphere, asala nato kailangan discuss for the meantime. Next is hydrosphere. So may nakita din di picture na naglo-loading la. Sige, hydrosphere, all the water present in our planet. Naglo-loading pa. Next is, aside from hydrosphere, anong sunod?
Lettuce.
Okay, lithosphere, also known as Guinean geosphere. All the earth and all the different rocks, minerals present in our planet. That includes the different layers of our earth, which will be tackled later on, or which will tackled soon. So once we go to our next week 3 and 4, discuss natin its different minerals present and the different rocks, why is it important, and how can it be useful to our society. And last is, anong last?
Biosphere.
Yes.
Okay, biosphere.
Biosphere.
So the last one is biosphere. Now to sum up everything, when we talk about biosphere, it is dependent on all the subsystems. So based on the picture that I have sent to you, or that we have evaluated earlier, biosphere is the one who needs to survive on the earth, diba? So for able to biosphere to survive, it needs to communicate with all the other subsystems. That is why the connection between among of this is interactions need to be present. So humans need to consume water, we need to take air, and we need to have land to live in. So biosphere is dependent on all of these different subsystems. Now, what happens if these various subsystems interact with each other? What will happen?
Tapos na.
Nag-click mo na, sir?
Yeah.
Ang sugoy sa pagpalit tuyo.
Raul. Gutom.
Last. Ano mananabo?
Ano, sir?
What will happen if these various subsystems interact with each other?
Sir, ma-sustain life.
Sir, main life, sir. Earth.
Magkakamay da unstable nga kuan ano ba to tawag basta? Magkakamay da in pagdiri ko man ng mga subsystem.
Okay, magkakamit ka specific phenomena. For example, there will be earthquake, there will be rain, di ba? There will be human interactions with the ecosystem. So as ito niya tanan, that is how important our earth and ecosystem is. So that ends my discussion. Do you have any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
May nabaroan?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
May nabaroan?
Yes, sir.
Question?
Yes, sir. Damo.
Yes.
Klaro ang discussion?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sige, since wala mo na dapat kiana, thank you so much for your time. I would like to take our representatives. Let us open our camera for a short photo op and then send it to our group chat na lang din. And then for the minutes and so on and so forth, if we will be having activities, just send your, adaman kapiton mga additional insights niyo. Secretary will be the one to give. Or the secretary can ask the classmates kung ano ang pwede pa ighatag ng mga insights. Kaya para niyo classmates nga waray, matagan gihap na I will be sending the recording as well. Okay, klaro kita? Klaro?
Yes, sir.
Sana all naka-gaming.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
may dapa ko minutes pero diri ang kabugusan.
Okay lang. May damang gap.
Kabutgaan lang. Wala na maka-follow kanina.
O sige lang, kay makuri man gyap mamati habang nagsusurat liwat. Sige.
Pero sir, still send ko pati ang attendance, sir.
Sige.
Sa group chat.
Group chat na lang. Sige, let us take a picture. Sige. Okay na? Okay na?
Yes, sir. Okay na.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
for
so
your
much,
time.
sir, for
Bye,
your
sir.
time.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Sir, you. Love you, sir.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Panganigaw na.
Love you, sir.
Tanda ko para makabawi ka mo.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Love you.
kaon, sir. It will, sir. Love you.
Bye-bye, bye-bye. Balik na ako,
Sir,
bye-bye.
pwede makikaon.
Man, nagkauna.
Goodbye!